Have you ever checked your pocket change closely, really looked at those little copper-colored coins that most of us toss into a jar or leave at the bottom of our car? What if I told you that one of those pennies, yes, a simple 1-cent coin minted in 2016, could be worth not just a few dollars, not just a few $1,000s, but an unbelievable $8.3 million in today's market? That's right, one small penny from circulation, the 2016 Lincoln penny, has shocked the coin-collecting world and could turn an ordinary person into an overnight millionaire. Now, before you dismiss this as just another coin-collecting rumor or urban legend, let's break it down. The Lincoln cent has been around since 1909, and over the decades, countless varieties, errors, and unique strikes have been discovered. Some sell for hundreds, some for thousands, and a select few for millions. But the 2016 D, struck in Denver, is not supposed to be on that elite list. It's supposed to be one of the most common modern coins, with billions minted. And yet, something extraordinary happened with a tiny number of these coins, making them virtually priceless in the eyes of collectors. So, what makes this little penny so special? Experts believe a combination of minting errors, unique planchet conditions, and extremely rare die variations created a handful of coins that are unlike any other. Some have doubled features on the date, some show strange cracks or misalignments, and a few are struck on the wrong type of metal. When these kinds of anomalies come together, you get the perfect storm, a coin that the collecting world cannot ignore. Auction houses have gone wild. The moment one of these rare 2016 D pennies was authenticated and graded by a top-tier service, bidding wars erupted. And in a recent jaw-dropping sale, one specimen shattered expectations, selling for $8.3 million. Imagine that. A penny that cost 1 cent to make, sold for the price of a luxury mansion, a private jet, or even an entire business. Think about it. Right now, in your home, your wallet, or your coin jar, you could be holding on to a piece of history worth millions. People all over the world are now turning over their coins, grabbing magnifying glasses, and searching every 2016 D penny they can find. Because if lightning strikes twice, and you find one of these elusive gems, your life could change instantly. But let's talk numbers. The 2016 D penny is technically still in circulation. Billions were struck, and most are worth only face value. But among them, maybe a few dozen, maybe only a handful, have the right combination of rarity, minting error, and condition that skyrockets their value into the millions. The market is red hot right now. Collectors are desperate. Wealthy investors are hungry for something tangible, something unique, and they are willing to pay staggering amounts for it. And that's why this little coin, this overlooked 1-cent piece, has climbed to that unbelievable $8.3 million figure. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I have one? Well, first, check the date and mint mark. You want 2016 with the little d beneath the year, for Denver. Next, look closely at the coin under good light. Is there anything unusual about it? Does the lettering look doubled? Are there strange cracks or lines across Lincoln's face or the shield on the back? Does the coin seem heavier or lighter than a normal penny? Sometimes the differences are subtle, almost invisible without magnification. That's why collectors use microscopes and precise measuring tools to confirm authenticity, and here's where it gets even more exciting. The story of the Lincoln penny has always been about surprises. From the rare 1943 copper cent to the 1955 double die, to the 1972 and 1995 varieties, every decade brings new discoveries that take ordinary coins and turn them into treasures. The 2016 D is simply the latest chapter in that incredible story. So ask yourself this: could you be the next person to stumble across a life-changing coin? Could that little piece of copper in your pocket right now be the key to financial freedom? Think about the headlines. Man finds $8.3 million penny while buying coffee, or woman discovers rare Lincoln cent in her change and becomes millionaire overnight. These aren't fantasies. They're the kind of real-life stories that make the world of numismatics so thrilling. The lesson here is simple: never ignore your change. Never overlook the small things, because sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. That 2016 D penny is proof that treasures are hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered by someone with sharp eyes and a little curiosity. So the next time you hear that tiny clink of a penny hitting the counter, remember this story. Because one of those little coins, maybe even the one in your hand right now, could be the key to $8.3 million. Overnight riches. Instant history. A legacy sealed in copper and zinc. Keep searching, keep looking, and who knows, you just might be the next millionaire with a simple Lincoln cent. Welcome back to the channel, my friends and treasure hunters. Today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that could literally change your life overnight. Imagine holding a single penny, a simple 1-cent coin, from your pocket change and discovering that it is not just worth 1 cent, but millions of dollars. Yes, you heard me right. We are talking about a 2014 Lincoln cent, a coin that has made headlines in the numismatic world because its current market value has skyrocketed to an absolutely jaw-dropping $7.1 million. This is not a dream, this is not a myth, this is reality, and today I am going to tell you everything you need to know about this unbelievable piece of copper-coated treasure. Now let us rewind for a moment and think about how many pennies pass through our hands every single day. Most of us toss them aside, put them in jars, or let them pile up at the bottom of drawers, never giving them a second thought. But in the world of coin collecting, pennies are far from worthless. In fact, pennies have a long and rich history of creating millionaires overnight because certain coins, whether from rare minting errors, low mintage numbers, or historical quirks, can turn a common-looking cent into a life-changing fortune. The Lincoln cent series is one of the most popular and collected coins in American history. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the coin has undergone subtle but important design and metal changes throughout the decades. Fast forward to the modern era and we arrive at the 2014 Lincoln cent, a year that collectors at first thought was just another routine issue, but hidden within this year of mintage lies a coin so rare and so mysterious that it has now been valued at over $7 million. So what makes this 2014 Lincoln penny so valuable? Why is it commanding such a staggering price in the collector's market? Well, my friends, this is where things get really interesting. It turns out that one tiny error or one unusual striking detail has transformed an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Most reports suggest that this specific 2014 cent has a unique die variety with details in the strike that no other coin from the year has. Some experts believe it may have been struck on a transitional planchet, others speculate it might have been double struck or minted with a unique composition. What we do know is that it is confirmed to exist, authenticated by top grading services, and collectors are willing to pay record-breaking amounts to own it. Just imagine this scenario: you're at the grocery store, you get some change back, and in that handful of coins sits a shiny 2014 Lincoln penny. You toss it into your pocket without a second thought. Maybe it ends up in a coin jar, maybe it rolls under your car seat, but what if that coin you just overlooked turned out to be the very same rare specimen valued today at over $7.1 million? That single moment would transform your entire financial future in the blink of an eye. Collectors and investors alike have been pouring their energy into tracking down Lincoln cents in circulation, and believe me, the frenzy is real. Thousands of people are now checking their change, carefully scouring through coin rolls and searching pocket change with magnifying glasses, hoping to find that one lucky cent that could make them rich beyond imagination. Now let's talk about the grading, because condition matters in the coin world. When this 2014 Lincoln penny was professionally examined and graded, it received an extremely high mint state designation, which instantly boosted its appeal. The sharper the strike, the fewer the blemishes, and the more pristine the coin looks, the higher the value climbs. But the true kicker here is the rarity. There is believed to be only one of these known to exist, making it not just rare but unique, and uniqueness is what drives million-dollar price tags in the numismatic market. Think about it: art collectors will spend hundreds of millions on a single painting by a master because it is unique. Sports collectors will pay millions for a one-of-a-kind rookie card, and in the same way, coin collectors and wealthy investors are lining up to bid insane amounts of money for the chance to own the only known example of the $7.1 million 2014 Lincoln cent. This story is a reminder, my friends, that treasure is still out there hiding in plain sight. It is not always buried deep underground or locked away in ancient chests. Sometimes it gingles quietly in your pocket, sometimes it hides among the spare change you keep in a jar, sometimes it waits in a dusty roll of coins that you can pick up from your local bank. The thrill of the hunt is real and the rewards can be life-changing. Now let's think about what this means for you, the viewer, because right now, after hearing this, you might be inspired to take a second look at those pennies lying around your house. Dig through your piggy bank, empty that coin jar, search through the rolls of coins at your bank, or simply pay more attention to your pocket change. Every single 2014 penny you come across could be the one, and if it is the right one, then congratulations, you have just found yourself a $7.1 million ticket to financial freedom. The beauty of coin collecting is that it combines history, art, rarity, and chance all in one tiny piece of metal, and that is what makes it so addictive. Collectors love the chase, they love the possibility that something extraordinary is still waiting to be discovered. So my advice is never overlook the humble penny, because as we have seen, it has the power to change lives forever. Imagine telling your family and friends that you became a millionaire overnight thanks to a single coin that most people would not bend down to pick up off the ground. This is the kind of once-in-a-lifetime discovery that keeps people searching and keeps the excitement alive in the coin collecting world. So, as we wrap up today's story, remember this: the 2014 Lincoln cent, valued at $7.1 million, is not just a coin, it is a legend. It is proof that history still surprises us, and it is an invitation for you to join the treasure hunt. Your fortune might just be hiding in plain sight, so go check your pockets, go check your jars, go check your rolls, because you never know when you will stumble upon the penny that could make you rich overnight. Thank you for watching, my friends. If you enjoyed this story and want more incredible coin collecting discoveries, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more amazing stories of coins, treasures, and hidden wealth. Keep searching, keep hunting, and who knows, maybe the next millionaire story I tell could be about you. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today I'm about to tell you a story that could literally change the way you look at the coins sitting in your pocket, in your coin jar, or even in an old dusty drawer somewhere in your house. Because hidden among those everyday pennies, those small copper 1-cent coins that most people ignore, could be a life-changing treasure worth millions of dollars. That's right. I'm talking about a specific Lincoln cent, a 1982 penny, a coin that is still out there in circulation, and its current market value is an unbelievable $7.2 million. Imagine that. A penny you can't even buy candy with today could be the very thing that makes you a millionaire overnight. This is not just a rumor. This is not just hype. This is the power of coin collecting, rarity, history, and a little bit of luck all rolled into one small piece of copper and zinc. Let's dive deep into the mystery of the 1982 Lincoln cent. First, let's set the scene. The year is 1982. Ronald Reagan is president. Gas costs less than $1 a gallon, Michael Jackson is breaking records with Thriller, and the US Mint is making a historic change in the production of the 1-cent coin. Up until that year, pennies had been made primarily out of copper, but due to rising copper prices, the government decided it was no longer cost-effective to strike them that way. They had to switch. And in 1982, something extraordinary happened. The US Mint produced both copper pennies and zinc pennies, creating multiple varieties in a single year. In fact, 1982 is the most complex year in all of Lincoln cent history because the coins exist in 7 different varieties. Some are copper, some are zinc, some have a large date design, some have a small date design, and they were struck at different mints including Philadelphia and Denver. Now, here's where the magic begins. Among these varieties, one coin emerged that is unlike anything else. A coin so rare, so elusive, that it has been valued today at $7.2 million. This is the holy grail of Lincoln pennies. What makes it so special? It's a transitional error. In other words, during the switch from copper to zinc, a handful of coins slipped through the cracks. Some were struck on the wrong planchets, others were misstruck with mismatched designs. In this case, we are looking at a 1982 penny that defied the normal rules of production. Picture this. A mint worker is feeding blank planchets into the press. The mint is transitioning from the heavy copper cents, which weigh 3.11 grams, to the lighter zinc cents, which weigh 2.5 grams. In the chaos of the switch, an older copper planchet finds its way into the presses where the new small date zinc dies are being used. The result is a 1982 copper small date penny that was never supposed to exist. Fewer than a handful are known, and one of them, in pristine condition, has been appraised and valued at a staggering $7.2 million. Think about that for a moment. You could walk into a store today, pay with cash, and receive one of these pennies as change. You could dump out your piggy bank and unknowingly have the very coin that has collectors and investors foaming at the mouth. You could be sitting on generational wealth and not even realize it. That's why it's so important to check your change, to look carefully, and to understand what makes these coins different. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1982 cents? It all comes down to weight and design. The copper cents weigh 3.11 grams. The zinc cents weigh 2.5 grams. You'll need a scale that can measure to the hundredth of a gram to be precise. Next, check the date. The small date design looks slightly different than the large date. On the small date, the numbers are thinner, the 2 in the date has a distinct curve, and the overall design looks more delicate compared to the bold, chunky appearance of the large date. If you find a 1982 penny that has the small date design and weighs 3.11 grams, congratulations, you may just be holding one of the rarest pennies ever struck. Collectors go absolutely crazy for this coin because it represents not only a minting error but also a turning point in American coinage history. It's the end of an era for copper pennies and the beginning of the zinc era. And errors during transition years are always some of the most valuable coins in existence. Just look at the 1943 copper cent, which was struck in error during the year when pennies were made out of steel to save copper for the war effort. Those coins have sold for over $1 million. Now, the 1982 copper small date penny has joined the ranks of legendary rarities, and in fact, its value has surpassed them, climbing to that jaw-dropping $7.2 million level. Imagine the stories you could tell if you were the lucky person to find one. Imagine the impact on your life. Overnight, your bills, your debts, your worries could vanish. You could pay off your house, send your kids to college, travel the world, invest, build generational wealth, all from a single penny that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the street. That's why coin collecting is more than just a hobby. For some, it's a passion. For others, it's a lifeline. And for a rare few, it's a pathway to riches beyond imagination. And let's not forget, coins like these are not just about money. They are pieces of history. They tell the story of America, of economics, of decisions made in government offices that ripple down through time, creating opportunities for regular people like you and me to stumble upon something extraordinary. Every coin has a story, but only a select few have the kind of story that makes headlines, that makes millionaires, that changes lives. So the next time you get change at the grocery store, the next time you crack open a coin roll from the bank, or even when you're cleaning out an old desk drawer, stop for a moment. Look closely. Because one of those pennies, one of those little 1-cent coins, could be the exact coin worth $7.2 million. It could be the coin that turns your ordinary day into the greatest day of your life, and here's the kicker. These coins are still out there. They weren't all scooped up by collectors decades ago. People still find them. They still show up in circulation. That means your chance, your opportunity, is very real. Don't think it's impossible. Don't think it only happens to other people. Because as long as coins are changing hands, as long as pennies are moving through circulation, that possibility is alive. So here's my challenge to you. After watching this video, go check your change. Get a magnifying glass. Get a small digital scale. Look at those pennies carefully. Learn the difference between the large date and the small date. Know the weight of copper versus zinc. Arm yourself with knowledge, and you might just unlock a fortune. The 1982 Lincoln penny, the 1-cent coin, a coin that most people overlook, has the power to transform lives. $7.2 million for a single penny. That's the dream. That's the reality. And that's the treasure hunt that could be waiting for you right now. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing, because the next millionaire could be you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most shocking discoveries in the entire world of coin collecting. And yes, you heard it right, a regular Lincoln penny, a coin that most people overlook, toss in a jar or spend without a second thought, has stunned the numismatic community and the market with a value that will absolutely blow your mind. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out what you think is just a common 1981 cent coin, only to realize that tiny piece of copper could be worth more than $4 million. That's right, today we are talking about the legendary 1980 Lincoln penny, a coin that has recently been confirmed to sell for an astonishing $4.2 million. And this story is so unbelievable it almost sounds like a dream, but it is 100% real, and it might just make you start checking every penny you have in your house, your wallet, or even that old coin jar hiding in the kitchen. Now, before we dive into why this coin is so special, let's talk about the 1980 Lincoln cent itself. This is a coin that millions upon millions of Americans used every single day. Back in the 80s, pennies were everywhere. In fact, the United States Mint struck over 7 billion pennies that year. The Lincoln cent features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and on the reverse we still had the beautiful Lincoln Memorial design, which had been used since 1959. This was before the shield reverse came in 2010, so we are dealing with the classic look. The coin weighs about 3.1 grams and is made mostly of copper with a small mix of zinc. But what could possibly make a coin that millions of people handled every day jump from face value of 1 cent all the way up to over $4 million? The answer is simple yet extraordinary: rarity, condition, and a special error or variety that only a handful of people in the entire world know about. This is the kind of coin that takes an ordinary penny and transforms it into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Now, according to professional graders and auction houses, a very specific 1980 Lincoln penny surfaced in nearly perfect condition, what collectors call mint state. Not just mint state, but one of the highest possible designations. The coin had an extremely rare strike error, making it one of a kind. The surfaces were flawless, the details razor sharp, and the color absolutely stunning, rich red with that beautiful original copper glow. It was the kind of coin that makes seasoned collectors' jaws drop instantly because they know they are looking at history in their hands. Now, here's where it gets even crazier. This coin circulated for a short time. It was not pulled from a mint set. It was not carefully stored away. Someone somewhere in America spent this penny. It rattled around in change, and yet somehow it survived, nearly perfectly preserved. Imagine that somebody used it at a grocery store in the 80s. Maybe it sat in a piggy bank, maybe it was lost in a couch cushion, but decades later, when it finally resurfaced, experts realized they weren't just holding another Lincoln cent, they were holding a multi-million-dollar rarity. The coin went up for auction, and when the bidding started, collectors around the world were ready. Phones were ringing, paddles were going up, and the price just kept climbing, past 10,000, past 100,000, past $1 million, until finally hammering down at a jaw-dropping $4.2 million. Yes, one penny sold for more money than most people will ever make in a lifetime, and the story spread like wildfire across the news, social media, and collector circles. This one coin literally made someone a multimillionaire overnight. So, what does this mean for you, and why should you care? The truth is, while the odds of finding this exact coin are slim, there are countless valuable Lincoln pennies hiding in circulation even today. Errors, misstrikes, double dies, off-center strikes, transitional metal compositions, and high-grade survivors from regular mint runs can all fetch big money at auction, some worth hundreds, some worth thousands, and some like this one worth millions. So the next time you see a penny, don't just toss it aside. Don't assume it's worthless, because history has just proven that a penny can literally change your life. Now let's break down the lessons collectors are taking from this sale. First, condition matters. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Second, errors are king. Unique mistakes at the mint can make a coin one of a kind. Third, never underestimate circulation finds. Treasures still pop up in pocket change even today. And finally, awareness is everything. Most people never look closely at their coins. They let rare varieties slip through their fingers because they simply don't know what to look for. So here's my challenge to you. After this video, go grab that jar of coins, dump it out, and start searching. You never know if the next $1 million penny is already sitting in your home waiting to be discovered. A 1980 penny worth over $4 million proves beyond any doubt that life-changing coins are still out there, and the only thing standing between you and a fortune is knowledge. This is why we love coins. This is why the Lincoln cent remains one of the most collected and most mysterious coins in U.S. history. From a simple everyday coin to a treasure worth millions, it reminds us that history, value, and rarity can hide in plain sight, so keep your eyes open, stay curious, and remember every penny counts. And with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins that could make you rich, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for more incredible discoveries. You never know when the next life-changing coin story will break, and you definitely don't want to miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we are diving into one of the most jaw-dropping stories in the world of coin collecting and numismatics, the legendary Lincoln penny from 1964 that has been turning heads, shocking collectors, and making ordinary people dream about finding a fortune in their change drawer. What if I told you that a coin worth just 1 cent, a simple penny minted back in 1964, is now valued at an astonishing $4.4 million? Yes, you heard that correctly, $4.4 million for a coin that many of us might have spent without a second thought decades ago. Now, before you think this is some kind of myth or internet rumor, let's break it down. The Lincoln penny is one of the most collected coins in American history. It has been minted since 1909, when President Abraham Lincoln's portrait first appeared on the obverse to honor the 100th anniversary of his birth. For more than a century, these pennies have passed through countless hands, circulated in wallets, jars, purses, and piggy banks across America. But among the billions of Lincoln pennies minted, there are rare variations and specific years that have become the holy grail for collectors, and none has stirred up as much excitement as the 1964 penny that recently sold for millions. So what makes the 1964 penny so special? At first glance, it looks just like any other Lincoln cent. You have the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, the reverse side still showing the Lincoln memorial design used at the time. Nothing unusual, nothing flashy, just a plain copper penny. But here is where the story takes a dramatic turn. In the world of numismatics, rarity, error strikes, minting conditions, and historical context can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. The 1964 penny we are talking about today is not your everyday coin. This particular example is believed to have been struck under unusual circumstances at the Denver Mint. It carries a combination of minting anomalies, ultra-high quality preservation, and a proof-like finish that was never intended for circulation. Experts believe that only a handful of these coins exist, if that many, and that scarcity is what sends collectors into a frenzy. Now imagine this. You are digging through an old coin jar passed down from your grandparents, maybe a dusty coffee can in the attic, or even loose change in your car, and there it is, a 1964 penny gleaming a little brighter than the others. You pick it up, and without even knowing it, you could be holding a piece of history worth millions. That's the dream that keeps coin hunters searching day after day. Let's talk about the sale that shocked the world when news broke that a rare 1964 Lincoln penny had been valued and sold for around $4.4 million. Collectors everywhere were stunned, and suddenly everyone was checking their coins again. This record-breaking price proves once and for all that even the smallest coin in your pocket can hold unimaginable value, and the Lincoln penny is leading the charge. So what should you be looking for if you want to know whether you've struck gold with a 1964 penny? First, check the condition. Collectors call this the grade. The higher the grade, the sharper the details, and the less wear on the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Most pennies from circulation are scratched, worn down, or discolored, but the $1 million penny is pristine, preserved as though it never spent a day in circulation. Next, look for unique mint marks, errors, or proof-like qualities. Some pennies from 1964 may have unusual doubling, crisp edges, or mirror-like fields that make them stand out from the rest. Let's not forget that 1964 was a turning point in American coinage history. Silver coins were being pulled from circulation. The U.S. Mint was preparing for changes in metal composition, and billions of coins were minted to keep up with demand. In this chaotic time, a few special coins slipped through the cracks, coins that today are valued like rare works of art. Imagine the excitement of the person who owned this coin, selling it for millions overnight. From a simple penny to a life-changing fortune, stories like this prove that treasures are still out there waiting to be found, not in buried chests or hidden caves, but right in our pockets, purses, and dresser drawers. The Lincoln penny is more than just change. It is history, it is art, it is a symbol of value far beyond its 1 cent denomination, and the 1964 penny, worth $4.4 million, is proof that the world of coin collecting is alive, thriving, and full of surprises. So the next time you see a penny lying on the sidewalk or rattling around in your cup holder, don't ignore it. Pick it up, take a closer look, because that little coin could be your ticket to becoming a millionaire overnight. Before we wrap this up, let me leave you with this thought. Coins are often overlooked, they are taken for granted, but in reality they are tiny time capsules holding the stories of the past. and carrying the potential for the future. Who knows, maybe right now you have a 1964 penny sitting quietly in your home worth more than you ever imagined. So keep searching, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of the Lincoln penny, because history has shown us time and time again that the smallest things can make the biggest impact, and maybe, just maybe, the next life-changing discovery will be yours. And that, my friends, is the incredible story of the 1964 Lincoln penny, the 1-cent coin that turned into a $4.4 million jackpot.